Welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
And I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tyre.
And I'm Grant.
All right, that pop quiz. All right, who was the third person entered it? No. People are like, what? That's just the noise we make at the beginning of the show.
Oh.
No, so you mentioned dialing in rifles. It's hunting season.
It is hunting season. As of right, I'm probably, when this show is there, and I'm hoping to be loading up a deer of some description into the back of my truck.
So, folks, if you're out there in deer hunting world and you're going on that
in Georgia,
Georgia or coming up in Florida and all the wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you haven't checked the zero on your rifle, this would be you do it before you go
climb in the tree. And I know I've got 4 rifles here today, and when we get done recording, I'm going to go down there and confirm zero on all 4 of them, mine, my wife's, my daughter's, and my other one, my backup.
Yeah.
So
I got to wear that Target shirt again?
Yeah. And run around, turn broadside, and look back at me.
Okay. Put you on an orange shirt.
So you don't want to find out your gun ain't sighted in when Mr. Big walks out into the food plot.
Yeah, and if you don't think a rifle will, now I remember there's a quick story. Me and Steve Woodcock was my sniper partner back in the day on the SWAT team, and we went to Gunny Hathcock's White Feather Sniper School. 14 days of literal HELL in Virginia Beach. Gunny Hathcock was the famous
Marine sniper,
Vietnam era Marine Corps sniper. Had a civilian sniper school for law enforcement, and it was one of the hardest things I've done in law enforcement, because cops like to know when we're going to get a break. We're going to get there at a reasonable hour in the morning, and I want to know what time I'm getting off, and I need regular breaks, and I don't want to take tests or do anything physically exerting. I mean, that's what cops do. Well, his was just exactly the opposite of that, and it was 14 days, and I don't remember if we slept the whole time we were up there, and sometimes it was laying behind a rifle. But the last day of the course, and you have to qualify, or you don't get what they call a piece of the rock, the marble slab that I have in my attic now. But and Steve, the night before we qualified, I walked around and we were at the hotel room, and he was cleaning his rifle. And if you didn't show up with a clean bore, they'd run a white patch through your bore every day when you showed up to class. And if it had dirt on it, you was doing push-ups. And so you were going to clean your rifle. Every time you fire it should be pristine. The barrel should be clean, no fouling shots, none of that, which I'm normally run a dirty rifle during hunting season, but they wanted it clean every time. And he was cleaning his, and I walked around the corner of the bed and kicked it with my foot by accident. I swear it was an accident. Now, these are law enforcement issued Remington 700s with good scope rings, good loophole scopes, solid rifles that we drug around the woods all the time. And all it did was fall over on a bipod and hit the bed frame. Mm-hmm. It was 2 inches off the next day at 100 yards. And when he took his cold bore shot, we're like, ooh. And, with qualification, you hit one cold bore shot, and it was to the left. I'm like, man, you better aim to the right. You better aim somewhere else. And he did. He just barely qualified because that thing. And so if you don't think that getting in and out of your tree stand and banging that rifle around can knock that thing off, no matter what kind of gear you have. Now,
the vibration of your truck motor or the vibration of your vehicle going down a washboard road, which is where hunting happens on dirt. A lot of dirt road travel and whatever, getting banged around, vibrations will loosen screws even with Loctite, torque properly, and all this stuff. It happens. I experienced that with one of my guns this morning. It wasn't a scope. It wasn't on the scope. It was on the stock. The screw that holds the stock onto the action was everywhere. The gun up, and I'm like, "What the heck?"
Everywhere something touches something else in there.
There is
the
a potential
stock
for
to
that.
the frame to the receiver to the this and the barrel to the scope rings, and then the scope ring mount, and then every one of those things has the potential to move just a little bit, and it only takes a little bit.
This was causing just enough wiggle that I could feel it and hear it moving the gun. It wouldn't have, probably wouldn't have affected accuracy a whole lot, but it might have because my eye's in a different place or that, whatever. So I had to, and that's one of the processes that I go through on the first of the hunting season year, and I'll do it again probably, the middle of the hunting season. My wife had a scope quit working or let go, as we call it. And missed a absolute trophy deer because of it. And I'm sitting there watching it, watching the whole thing, and she is absolutely deadly with a scoped rifle. And she shot at a deer at about 175 yards, and I watched the bullet tear off through the frozen bushes and knock ice off of it, and she had missed it by 3 feet.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You said let go. What do you mean?
The scope,
Sometimes
the reticles let go. The reticle, the crosshairs in there.
They just fell apart?
They're mechanical. Yeah. Well, there's there's little sets of gears that move those, that move the reticle around. It's called an erector. And something in there had loosened up, and the crosshairs they looked the same through the scope. You can't look at it and see, but she had killed 2 deer a couple of weeks earlier with same setup. It shot perfectly. Sometime in that 2-week period of time, the scope was 3 feet off.
Wow.
And it was broken to the point where it would not. I could not re-zero it, or we basically had to throw that scope away and put a new scope on there. So it happens.
And
this was a Nikon. This was not a cheap. This was not a cheap Walmart scope. This was a Nikon.
I got one drawer in there. The reticle just fell out of it.
Charlie, I have a question.
What's that?
When y'all are in the capacity as a sniper for the sheriff's department, correct?
Oh, well, have been, yeah.
How often would you check your? You know what I mean? And that
Every training.
How often would that be?
Well, once or twice a month. Every time I went out, I would shoot a group, clean a rifle.
I was wondering.
So I'm just saying, all that time and effort you put in to feeding, planting food plots, going out, renting the hunting lease, or taking care of your place, or whatever it is, and then you get out there. And if you haven't taken a shot with that rifle just to see, and you don't have to shoot a whole group through it.
My plan is to go down there and shoot 1 round out of each of those 4 guns and be done if everything is correct, or make the corrections to make sure it's zeroed.
So here's a question for you. So what is your recommended yardage?
Yeah,
100 yards.
100. So you want to say, so for your average southeast, part of the country deer hunter, 100 yards on a 243, a 270.
I like using the 100-yard zero because the math at 400 yards is easier. Okay. And it's just easier for me to remember without having to write things down or to keep a card, a dope card, what's called a dope card with all your scope adjustments and all that stuff. I don't have to think about what
we have
I'm
dope
doing.
cards in my business, but it's not used for
right.
that.
So if you zero it at, let's just say you zero it at 200 yards.
Right.
Your average hunting rifle. If you zero it at 200 yards, you're going to be somewhere between 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 inches high at 100 yards.
Sure.
And then X amount of, depending on the drop, you're going to be this much low at 300 and this much below that at 400. So with 100 yard zero, I know I'm dead on at 100. I know I can look at my ballistic calculations and know that I'm 2 inches below that or 1.5 inches below that at 200, which you don't make it scope adjustments for 200 yards. You're talking about you're either hitting 1.5 inches high on a 200 yard zero or you're hitting 1.5 inches low on a 100 yard zero. What does it matter? You're within
unless
2
you're
inches.
shooting 300 blackout or something.
Unless you're shooting something weird, low velocity or whatever. But at 300 yards, I know that if my bullet drop is this much, I got this many clicks. And it's just easy for me to remember it based on a 100 yard zero.
So you can also look at the box of ammo that you're using, and it'll have
a lot of times, a lot of the manufacturers are now printing that information on the box of ammo.
I don't buy them unless they have the little arc on the back where I can look at it and see. Okay.
Right. Well, the thing is if you look at that and you like that 200 yard zero and it tells you what 100 yard, it's going to be this distance low at 100 in order to do it a 200 yard zero. You can dial it into that. Still sight it in at 100. You just say if it's 1 inch, you just sight it in 1 inch low at 100, and you can figure that it's probably going to be fairly accurate, but it's not going to be perfect because the length of your barrel matters. There's a lot of different things that can go into that. So, but at least it gives you an idea. Ideally, you would go out and come to one of the Talon ranges in Dothan or Midway here in Tallahassee, and you would shoot out the 400 yards and see, and if you're shooting past 400 yards, and you probably have somewhere better to shoot because you're going somewhere else. Now, shooting, but hunting on power lines and things like that when you've got a long distance or out in an ag field. But dial your rifle in. Know what you're talking about, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So you were telling a story before the show about some of the potential clientele that we might run into. As a professional training facility, a family-oriented shooting range, one that allows people to come out and do tactical training. We teach stuff like that. We teach personal safety issues, how to defend yourself, and this is a place for people to come and enjoy themselves. Occasionally, we never call out names or anything, but occasionally we have people that have borderline behavioral concerns that go beyond where we feel like we're comfortable training these people,
or even allowing them on the property.
Now, so if we had a bunch of people come out here and says it'd be like a pilot school wanting to teach a bunch of people
how
that
to
didn't
take
want
off
to know
and
how
not
to land,
land.
not how to land. But if somebody walks in here and they say, "I want you to teach me how to shoot because I'm going to shoot somebody," that's kind of
yeah. It's clues.
So kind of give me a real idea.
This person reached out to us a couple of days ago this week and said, want to learn how to shoot. Okay, well, when we get people calling asking for private lessons, we try to cater those private lessons to their needs. Okay, what do you want to learn how to shoot? You want to learn how to shoot birds? You want to learn to shoot sporting clays, skeet, or you want to learn how to shoot a long-range rifle, a carbine, or whatever. We try to cater those things, so we ask a lot of questions when somebody calls us about that. This person basically indicated that they had been to the FWC recent meeting here in Tallahassee
discussing the bear hunt.
Yeah. And this person indicated they want to learn how to shoot their gun so that they could shoot hunters if they came near their property.
For purposes of defending
the wildlife on their property. That they were just going to shoot them. And this person also said, I recently went to this meeting, and there were a bunch of KKK members there wearing orange shirts.
They don't wear orange shirts. They wear white robes.
Well, but you see the mentality of their associating this hate group, this racist hate group, with people wearing orange shirts. Hunters. The hunters were there.
Yeah.
And
the anti-gun people wear red shirts to the Capitol when they protest against gun rights, but
so
then
they're wearing the Grand Wizard outfits, right? That's
the red. But then the MAGA crowd wears red, so it's like it's the color du jour.
Yeah. So this person indicated they basically were wanting to learn how to shoot so they could shoot people wearing orange shirts. Mm-hmm. Wearing hunter's orange, which is a requirement if you're hunting on public land in Florida. It's a requirement on every land in hunting in Georgia. You've got to wear orange. So anyway, they basically were very interesting to talk to, and very adamant that they were going to kill anybody that came onto their property. Or hunters, and
then she found out that our instructors would have been wearing the same
and basically shirt. The instructor that we put her in touch with to get the to do the training said, if I'm a retired FWC officer and I hunt, and if I had gone to the meeting, which I didn't, but if I had gone, I would have been on the side of the legal hunters, and I would have probably been wearing orange too.
Well, let me ask you this question.
And this person lost their absolute mind over this and got mad and called up here and
she's waiting on a phone call.
Waiting on the phone call back from me to just say, I appreciate you.
I want to be in the room.
I don't want.
So long story short, she's not going to be trained by us.
I understand that, but there are two questions you need to ask her when she calls. Mm-hmm. One, does she have any money? All right, and two,
does she want a good lawyer?
Yeah, does she want a good lawyer? Don't ask two if she doesn't answer one affirmatively.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's that bothers me for a person of that mentality that wants a gun that's basically putting the lives of animals that are legally harvested, legal activity, all that, putting the lives of those animals. But that is a red flag, Paul. That's a really good use of the words there. Actually, a red flag.
Red flag.
Well, no, I'll do you one further. I think you need to notify law enforcement.
I think you do.
Red flagger.
That's may be going on. Yeah.
We don't discuss that part of things on the air, Fred. We prefer not to go down that road right now. Listen, we are staunch advocates of the Second Amendment, all of your individual rights. We don't divulge information, share information. We don't do that. We believe, people can learn and protect themselves. However, when you start talking about, I want to proactively go out and harm someone, then that crosses a threshold that we cannot tolerate and will not tolerate.
Well, I can tell you, it goes further than that. Ethically, as a lawyer, client comes to me and says, I am going to commit a crime. Not only is that not protected by the attorney-client privilege, at that point, I'm duty-bound to report that.
Yeah. Well, it's a quandary for us, because but I didn't create the environment that person is living in, and whatever mentality they have, they don't need a gun, in my opinion. Somebody that's
and we certainly wouldn't sell them one or allow them to train them to use one. There's a lot of craziness that goes. I saw something this morning that some people that I've done business with in the past, and they've got a little blog I think they're doing now, and posted on Facebook about and conservatives asking for feedback on the WCTV or whatever channel it was, talking about the auditors going down Gain Street in College Town down around FSU with the AR-15 and the video foot. They're the auditors. They were the ones that were over in Calhoun or whatever county was, and and they're same people, same guys, same fella, same AR-15, and went down to FSU campus, right around the edges, not on campus, but we're walking around down there, and everybody's kind of, there are some people cheering them on, and there are some people that are absolutely traumatized. Those people are a little thin-skinned. But here's the thing. Take the temperature of the room. We had an active shooter situation here not long ago. We had things happen in this town, and I want to go right back to the same thing I was talking about before. They have the right to do that as long as they are where they can be in public.
Well, but somebody with the mentality that to want to kill a hunter for hunting, a person that's conducting or involved in a legal activity, and you're placing the life of the animal, that's the same person that climbs up on a roof and shoots somebody for having a different opinion than them.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Absolutely.
That is the same person.
She just may not have the skill set.
The means,
but she's
of the
got
equipment.
The mindset.
But the mindset is no different than somebody willing to assassinate somebody with a different political view or different point of view. Now,
understand. You can be from the left or the right. You can be from any part of the political spectrum. You can have whatever political beliefs you want. You can have whatever religious beliefs you want. You can have any of that stuff. But as long as you're not potentially violent towards other people, if you want to come out here and wear high heels and a rainbow uniform, I don't care.
I know you
come out to the range and shoot. We welcome you. We welcome
absolutely.
people. And the thing is a lot of those people with those types of lifestyles, they really have a legitimate personal safety concern, and we're happy to train them and prepare them to defend themselves against people who might be doing harm to them. But if your intention is to come here so that you can turn around and I'm going to do this so I can do some harm to someone, that'd be like a woman coming in here going, I want to buy a gun because I'm going to kill my husband. The next time he hollers at me. Now, the next time he attacks me with a knife, I'm going to kill him. I'm all about training her.
Yeah.
But, you just got to, you have to, and so if you're out there buying a gun and going somewhere, be careful what you say. Because but you know what? Crazy just bleeds right on through.
I'm probably not going to sell a gun and a suppressor to somebody that comes in here and says, yeah, I'm buying this to do some night hunting and I'm going to do some spotlighting. And now if they say I got predation tags on my farm and I'm looking for a thermal sight with a rifle and a suppressor to kill the
we're going to try to sell them two or three.
To kill the hogs that are eating an acre of peanuts a night. Let me help you with that.
Yeah.
But if you come in here and say, I live in Clarn Lakes and there's a bunch of big deer walking around up there at night and I'm going to start shooting them out the yard, I ain't going to help you. I'm going to say I'm just not. I'm just not going to give you no pointers on that.
I don't live there. I might say.
I do. I feed them jokers in my yard.
Hold on. Let me get you a 300 blackout so you can really suppress it. And let's get you some subsonic rounds.
Yeah, so
the problem with that is what happens when it runs in the neighbor's yard.
yeah, don't yeah.
My neighbor go ahead and
Boils
have it
down
and
to
eat
common
it.
sense. But some people ain't got no sense,
You're yeah, or worse.
or worse,
Yeah.
they're mentally insane.
Yeah,
Speaking of neighbors, I sent a picture to y'all last night of my stone crab meal that came in. The stone crab opened on the
I
15th.
saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a hold of the first harvest. Man, those things were good.
I sat down one time and ate 5 pounds of them things right by myself, buddy. You talk about I love me some stone crab.
Oh, man,
claws.
I even cut my finger busting them up. It was,
You got the little hammer and the
No, I had a little thing, and I got so into
little,
it. And
the
I was
little pecan cracker.
just mowing on them, just sitting there. His finger got a hold of the bone. One of them already been cracked.
I take a little small little hammer. I got a little like
Oh, I have a
6-ounce hammer or something. But I love stone crabs. They-
machine tooled stone crab cracker.
Okay,
Yeah, just specifically for that day, October 16th, every year.
every year.
That's on my calendar.
To me, there is no better seafood on the planet, and that's included. I've had king crab and snow crab, whatever. Stone crabs, they're the hardest to get into for a reason. They're
Right.
good.
I'm gonna tell you this: they got a pile of them in at Southern Seafood. I was there last night, and
Really.
they are there.
Well,
And
well,
prices are. I mean, they're
Tater's boyfriend works there. I wonder if I get some kind of deal on that
you
there
might.
than them
You
there
never
things. Get that employee discount going on.
you might want to hang out the back door.
Call him up and say, "Hey, boy,
Hey,
you want to take my daughter out Friday night? I might get me some stone crab
I'll
claws."
have to work for that. But yeah, and they've got the recipe from Joe's Stone Crab Miami for the sauce. So
Oh.
it tastes no different than the actual sauce from the restaurant.
I went in there when it was $50 all you could eat once upon a time. I'm sure I put a hurting on them that night.
Yeah.
That's some good
Boy,
stuff.
you know it's good stuff.
We'll be right back. And we're back. So I had to go the middle of the night, or the other night, my daughter's van took a mess on her and just quit running and cost too much. So I went over to Chipola Ford in Mariana, where me and you were doing some trading right now. And this afternoon, I'll leave recording the show. I got to go see Pee Wee and sign the paperwork on a new vehicle for my daughter.
Man, does that lower the price on ours any?
No, but I am trading. I am trading another truck in on one of those little Mavericks, and then I'm thinking of trading another truck on one of those Mavericks because I like those things get some crazy mileage. And so the security company. I'm upgrading some vehicles because if I'm gonna make payments
Be on
on
good.
something that's got a bunch of miles on it, I'm gonna trade that in and go ahead and get something under warranty. And
I like them little trucks. I sat in one. One of our customers had one. I was looking at it, and I'm a big old fella.
I got him one of the.
They're not bad.
I'm trading on an XLT, and I'm getting out of a 2022 Nissan Frontier. It's my newest one, but I'm making a payment on it, and it's out of the warranty period now, and they doing me right on the trade, and so I got to get the stripes off of it, but I got in the XLT. It was the one I'm getting one brand new off the showroom. It's actually the one in the showroom. So I've never done that before because nothing I've ever bought would fit in the showroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sat in it and it's got electric seats, and I could wear a cowboy hat in that little thing. I mean, it's got plenty of room. And the thing is and I'm buying a hybrid. It gets 38 miles to the gallon.
It's a Maverick. It's
Maverick.
And it's a truck. It's
smaller
38
than
miles a
the
gallon?
Ranger.
It's what
their
a Ranger
little
used to be.
Economy truck.
Wow.
It's
It's
actually
a lot like the old Toyota, the old original Toyota 2-wheel drive.
well, it's
size-wise.
like the original Ranger. The Rangers
small
used to
Ranger,
be a
tiny.
compact truck. Well, now they're a mid-sized truck, and they should have named they should have renamed the Ranger and called this the Ranger because traditionally the Ford Rangers were small trucks. They were little bitty things like the Toyotas.
Yep.
Back in the day, you had a little truck and you had a big truck.
The original Rangers were made by Mazda.
Yeah,
It was the same as a Mazda B2000.
That's right.
I had one of the, I had a, I don't know, late 80s. I paid $800 for a Ranger.
Really?
Because at the time I lived 15, 16, 18 miles from where I worked, and I also had a Ford Bronco that got 12 miles to the gallon. I don't care what you did with it, it got 12 miles to the gallon. So it was killing me, and I wanted something a little bit better on fuel, and I bought this wrecked and repaired, salvaged $800 Ford Ranger and drove it for 3 years, put tires on it. I think I put a starter on it, And I think that was it. I paid $800 for it, drove it, and sold it several years later for $1,500. And the thing never gave. The starter was the only thing I ever had to do.
Well, once they depreciate down to a point, a truck, as long as it's in good mechanical
it was 3 different
condition,
colors.
it's going to hover
It was 3
around
different
the
colors.
range.
Yeah, it was 3 different colors, and didn't have no air conditioning, but it got me there and back for several years.
That's the
3 different colors all at one time?
Yeah, it had 3 different shades of black. It was black with red interior with no air conditioning, so it got a little warm in the summertime.
I would say so.
Especially wearing a police uniform. Polyester and body armor and that thing in the summertime, it was like riding in a sweat box. But it got me home and got me to work and home for several years, and didn't cost me a thing to drive it, So I love that little truck, and it was 3 different shades of black from all the body repair and replace. Needed probably was a green fender at some point in time, and Krylon made it black again. I mean, so.
Well, I was sitting in Chipola Ford talking to them yesterday, and I said, I'm sitting there looking at trading multiple vehicles for the company, work trucks and this and that and the other, and talking about our new trades. And I said, fellas, have come a long way from the night I was driving right here in front of this dealership when the Piggly Wiggly was over here, and my drive shaft fell slap out of my 1979 Ford and pulled it over here and had to drop the rest of the drive out and then run it on the front wheel drive. That's a good thing about a 4-wheel drive back in the day. When your rear end went out, your drive shaft twisted off because you were being stupid and just goosed it and twisted it. And 2, you just take that off and run on I had a front wheel drive 1979 Ford Ranger F-150 for a long time. That's all the rage now is front wheel drive little pickup trucks. I had one in 1985. So.
Probably wasn't good for the transfer case at highway speed, just saying.
Well, I sold it. Finally, Daddy sold it to the Ford mechanic at the Chipola Ford place. So he knew how to work on it. That was the one that had the lift kit that was half metal and half wood.
2x4s.
Well, it was 1-bys and some 2.5-inch square tubing. I cut off one of the tractor implements. But, that's the way it was back then. We'll be back. And we're back. I'm sitting here on the break talking about how deaf I am.
Huh?
Yeah, I was talking about because I was talking about Pee Wee's reading off the VIN number on that truck I'm trading, and I said, well, I told y'all, but I'm telling the people listening who probably don't care, but I said, what's the VIN? To getting it from my insurance, and he started reading it off to me. But he didn't give it to me like cops do, H Hotel, T Tango, it wasn't like it, he just started reading it, AHT 8, and I can't tell the difference between an H and an 8. And if you give me numbers, I know 8 is 8, 7 is 7, 9 is 9. There ain't but so many numbers now. They don't sound the same. But if you get into letters, there's too many of them that sound the same.
That's
And I got new batteries in my hearing aids, and I missed half of what he told me. I went back and looked at it, and I said, I am in bad shape. But you get, I like it when you get these people from overseas in the call centers that try to read something back to you.
No, I can't never.
And it'll be something like from Verizon or some legitimate company, because I just hang up on the rest. It'll be but their call centers overseas, or it's in Atlanta and a bunch of people from overseas are in the call center. Atlanta's got a bunch of call centers in there. So just because they speak that version of English doesn't mean that's where they are. They may be here, but they just hired people that have different accents. But when they start talking, they give you phonetics back, and it'll be like orangutan or T Thomas or R Roberto or some crap like that, and I'm going, where are you from? And they come up with some weird ones sometimes. Well, no, it could be somebody here that's there's a bunch of folks from all over the world in our big old melting pot here just because they talk funny, but when you hear 12 more in the background, then that's in Bangladesh.
Every now and then I get a hold on them and I just tell them, I said, look, I'm sorry. I have a speech or I have a hearing impairment. I just can't understand you. Do you got anybody else?
That's what I do.
I'm sorry. I'm racist and I don't listen to
I apologize. I can't understand
I'm
you.
like, look, dude,
I can't understand you.
I called an American number and I'm talking to somebody in China that don't know what, and I can't understand. Look what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, you get calls now where it is someone with what I would call an American accent, And then they start talking to you, and you're like, hey, and then they say, well, I'm calling to you from the healthcare. All right, I'm sorry, bye. Click.
Yeah.
You know, we've been trying to get in touch with you about your extended car warranty.
I go out of my way to do business with, like, Spartan, the game cameras we sell, Spartan game cameras. I had an issue with one of my cameras. They offered me a deal I couldn't refuse on a new one because my old one was out of warranty and they couldn't fix it and blah, 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 blah. And it was the lady that I was talking to on the phone. Honey, what's going on with your camera?
Now that I can deal
You know,
with.
she was from Georgia.
Okay.
She was. I mean, their company's in Georgia. Well, yeah, honey, do you want us to send that to your home address or do you want us to send that to the store? And I'm like, you send it to the house. It's mine. All right, then. Well, let me make sure I got the right address for you. Yes, ma'am. I'll do. All right, then. But it'll be on the porch when I get home today, as long as the porch pirates don't get me.
The porch fire.
All right, that's a thing now.
Not at my house.
Yeah.
I might hypothetically have video cameras with something attached to them. I want a paintball, some of them paintballs that shoot the pepper balls like they use on the riders. You mount them to a camera on the yard, and if
Just
somebody,
shoot the dude.
yeah.
Or send the UPS guys out there.
Well, I mean, I would have to activate it. You know, I'm not going to do it. Let it be on AI just yet. When AI gets a little bit better and it recognizes
Well, it might decide it doesn't like you.
Yeah.
well, then I'll shoot back with real bullets. I'll take a couple
It's
of
just
paintball
paintballs.
hits.
I mean,
paintball
they
hits. I'll take a
can't hurt
couple
you.
of them pepper ball hits.
Well, you get you one of them burner pistols and shoot pepper balls at you.
I'm going to put an offer out there on the Byrna thing. I have to answer so many questions here at the shop about Byrna. And it's just one of those things where I would let you, for $500, $100 bills, if you want to find out whether or not Byrna works, bring your $500. I'll let you shoot me. And if it stops me, you can keep your money.
Well, I got a better offer. I'll pay you $5 to let me shoot you. That being the current customer, they come in, I want it. I said, I'll tell you what, pay me $5 and I'll go out in the parking lot and shoot you with it, and you can tell me if it works or not. But here's the thing. It'll work on them because they're expecting it to work on them. It is a matter, it is mindset. If you come at something like that with the attitude that this is not going, I'm going to fight through this.
Yep.
Because, I've shot almost every deputy sheriff that worked at the Leon County Sheriff's Office back in the day with paintballs, except you, because
you couldn't hit me. I was moving too fast.
I promise you, I planned on it. And if you'd have gone where I told you to go, I'd have got you.
That is not how life works in a gunfight, sir.
I'll tell you right now. You will not hit me with paintball.
So that story, real quick, we set up a serpentine drill out at the academy one year, and we put up these barricades, and I made them look like brick columns with this faux brick stuff. And I said, we're working on active shooter training. And I was in a training section at the time. And so we brought all the deputies out, and we give them plastic bullets in the simunitions guns. So those things, they'll leave a huge whelp on them. They hurt. Now, they wouldn't stop somebody you were trying to get off of you, but they hurt, and they will leave a big bruise. They'll break the skin sometimes.
It'll make you not want to stick your foot, leg, or arm out there to get hit with it.
So the drill was we start you in a box behind cover, and then we have some of our innocent people standing in the way, and we're teaching you to move through a crowd.
You ever shoot them?
Move it through a crowd sometimes. And I've been shot. That's another story. And you move from cover to cover using concealment. And I or another instructor was down behind hard cover, down range. And what would happen is I had a paintball gun because it's cheap to shoot paintballs. And so I would sit there, and if they were using cover correctly, if they were not pointing the gun at people they were moving past, and they were doing all the tactics they were taught to use, and they'd move through the scenario. Eventually, I'd let them shoot me, and I would not shoot them. I'd shoot at them to keep them behind cover. Now, if they showed me a leg or an elbow or something, they weren't utilizing cover correctly, or they weren't shooting at me as they were moving or pointing the gun at me as they were moving across in an open area just to provide suppressive fire, I would shoot them with the paintball. And that was
called a learning tool.
It was tough love.
Yes.
And you got some guys from the courthouse who are a little bit older, and it was one day it was wet, and they'd slide out there, and I'd pop right along the inner side of their thigh, and I'd bruise them up. Now, as all said, a lot of them were like, Charlie's the best training I've ever been to, man. This is awesome. Look at all these bruises, man. I wish all training was like this. Well, then JD shows up. And JD wasn't in the whole class. JD just shows up, and we go, hey, you going to go through this thing? He goes, I don't even get that. No, you're going to go through it. And JD's, all right, with glee in his voice. And so
I've
he
been
gets
sitting there
up there.
surveying that course the whole time, and I'm going,
And so instead of going from cover to cover to cover, they said, all right, scenario on. And I pied around the corner, and I'm looking for him. And I mean like 3 seconds. I leaned out to look for him, and he wasn't there. And about that time, he had come around behind me. He just ignored all the cover, everybody. He ran around and came right up behind me and just started shooting the absolute crap out of me. I mean, I had
I did
bruises
not.
from that
Now
one.
wait a
I
minute.
would've
Now,
done
I
the
did-
same thing.
I didn't
No problem.
ignore the cover. I figured out that
Well, I
there was
never saw
I
it.
figured out there was a certain blind spot if you got when you're talking about moving diagonally, laterally, and going forward. You can line up 3 or 4 pieces of cover if you take the right angle. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I said, okay, well, I got cover here, here, and here. Somewhere on that azimuth, in that path, those things are going to overlap each other. So I can cover in a straight line. I can cover a whole lot of ground using all that cover. He'll never see me,
And I
and I'm just going to bolt down there from this angle. I picked one angle. Either it was going to work or it wasn't. And if it didn't work, I reckon I'd have got paintballed up, and Charlie would have enjoyed shooting me. But instead, it did work, and I enjoyed shooting him.
That's been 15 years ago, and I still feel like I owe you one.
You are not going to shoot me with a paintball. That's just not going to happen.
Oh, you come to our training, I will.
You're not going to get me. I do not like pain. You're not going to get me.
Oh man, that's some of the best training you can go to. We used to do our scenario based training with airsoft, and I'll tell you, it didn't hurt as bad. But if you get shot with airsoft all day long by a bunch of students, because women love to shoot you in the crotch, and that'd be the one place I didn't wear protection normally. I learned that on that paintball course. I was behind a student one day, and it was Pat Kennedy was the role player down there, and I was standing behind, I think it was Deputy Eve D. She was shooting, and I'm standing behind her watching her move through the course. And as an instructor, I'm following along, and Pat shot one time, hit me right in the crotch, and I doubled over, and it took 3 people to get me up off the ground.
I go by I'm the weapon. The gun is the tool. You got to use your brain. Got to use your brain.
All right. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Yeah, we started out talking about hunting, and now we're going to talk about fishing.
Yes, we're gonna
Paul
talk
come
about
in
some
here on
fishing.
fire today.
I tell you what, guys. Last show, Friday, when we recorded, that morning we caught 20. We ended up, I had 4 guys fishing with me. We fished Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening. Ended up catching 73 bass.
Wow.
They
Holy
were
cow.
biting, and the wind was 20, 25 miles per hour. And I want to kind of show what we was catching them on. Everybody knows, or you might not, a spinnerbait. That's a
Willow
worry.
leaf,
about the
gold
size of
willow
the
leaf.
shad. You
Yeah.
see them there? But that's what we were catching them on that and that wind. They were biting that, and these rattle traps. Remember I told you last week they were biting these rattle traps? Well, they were really biting. And one of the key things of fishing this is you throwing it out over that top of that hydrilla and just work it back and just pop it. Just a slow retrieve. And just lift it up and let it fall. And as it falls and it rattles, it makes. And man, I bet we caught.
That's the
25 on
is that the suspending or the floating? Or
No, this one actually will sink. You're just
Okay.
throwing it out and reel it in.
So you don't pause reeling it.
No, you just throw it out, just cast it out, reel it in, just pop it,
Okay.
and it'll flutter and it makes a lot of noise. But man, that spinner bait was unbelievable. And then I had a trip on Sunday, an actual granddaughter of Ned Allday. You remember the Allday? And man, that was an awful experience. Telling about, I always knew about that story of that, but in some inside information, it was really something. But we had 15 bass. We fished from 7:30 to 11:30, and 10 of the 15 were bigger than ones on the
Wow.
73. We had
Wow.
like 2 6-pounders, had one like a 7-pounder. It was awesome. So these bass have really feeding up now for the winter. It's even better. But as I haven't really seen a bunch of crappie yet, bunched up, they're still scattered, and that's what's coming next too. Is the crappie are going to start bunching up
Yeah,
as
we're
that
getting a
water
lot of
temperature goes.
low temps, and right now,
Yeah, it needs
in
to
the
get right now
high
at 72s.
50s, low 60s. We're getting
Yep.
those nighttime temperatures.
That's right.
And it's cooling that water
73 is the
down.
water temperature right now. I was out there this morning. There was a big tournament this weekend on Lake Seminole. Today is Friday. There's a first day, and then Saturday. But I got a feeling it's going to take probably 50, 55 pounds to win that.
Wow.
It's on right now.
So
Really good. I went looking around because I got a trip tomorrow. I was like, where are some of these guys at? 'Cause I have about 15 schools found over in Spring Creek, and about half of them, there were boats around. The other half, there wasn't nobody around. So I got, hopefully tomorrow they bite, so I put my customers on them.
Heck yeah.
So I'm not going to be with y'all next Friday, but Friday after that, I will have a fishing story, I hope.
Yes, you're going to,
I'm headed out Tuesday to Beaver Creek, Colorado, go fly fishing.
man,
Got a couple of float trips scheduled.
you got some waders?
No,
Sam's waders?
I'm going to float.
You're going to float? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll float down in one of those, you get guide with the oars.
Yep.
And, he'll drop a anchor from, it's not an anchor, it's like a weight.
Yeah,
That he
hold
drops
you.
it, a little reel, and you hold right there, and then you throw up behind the eddies, and you mend
Yep,
your
that's
line
right.
coming down, and I'm hoping that I get on a hatch where you have I don't know if fly fishing, when you have a hatch, that means that they start, the bugs are coming out of their
That's
larvae,
right. That's right.
and the trout start rising, and they just go to town. If you get
I
on
bet
one of
So
those,
the
JD
translation of that is, Paul, you got top water fishing going on.
That's right.
You got them bugs
That's
sitting on
right.
top of the water, and they're
That's
gonna
right.
be
Just
gonna
like when you had the mayfly hatches
Yes,
started,
sir.
man.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
every fish in the lakes.
it's a dry
breeding on
fly. I
them.
mean, that's like the pinnacle of fly fishing,
Yeah.
is catching them on a dry fly.
Yep,
When you have it going down the river just so naturally looking,
that's right.
and I've been polishing up my fly line, getting it all ready to go.
Well, you got to have that floating line, don't you? Where it
Yeah, you have
floats?
floating line.
Yeah.
You need anybody to carry your suitcase and your gear that you want to bring
Yeah.
along as a porter. I'll act like a porter.
As long as you put little round hats on.
I will. I'll wear anything you want me to wear, Fred. If you're gonna take me out there and fish, let me fish a little bit out there.
And I want to
doing that.
mention this book. I didn't. This Jay Brent Pitchard. I've been reading this.
Pritchard. Jay Brent Pritchard.
God, Dogs, and Ducks. This is really good.
Yeah.
Very good, man. That,
He's had that book out
puts
for a
it-
long time.
Yeah, that's that. I think you said, Charlie, to find this, you go on Amazon. You can get this pocket edition. It's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
I'm enjoying it.
I do want to take a minute to thank a client, loyal listener to our program, who dropped by the office this week. And if you're a client or a loyal listener, or both, and you want to do the same thing,
Yeah.
and bought me a bottle, almost 5 gallon. This thing's almost as big as I am. Bottle of
That's not hard.
Stoli Elite Lit Elf.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Gee.
a huge.
You got to bring
and
it.
I'm just
You got to
looking-
bring it next week.
I
When you
thought
come
about
back.
bringing it for
Go ahead
show
and
and
empty
tell.
it out and
but
bring it on in, and let's see what it looks like.
You gotta empty it
I'm
out.
just sitting there, just in awe of this
Hate to even open that,
beautiful.
don't you?
Yeah, I mean, because if I do, it'd be gone. And I'm just.
No,
How much lit elf can a lit elf drink?
I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna find out. If I start texting y'all strange stuff,
you
Don't.
took it with you.
If you don't quit texting me, I appreciate the picture you sent last night of the stone crab claws. I do, because it looked delicious.
Yeah, some of those pictures you can keep.
Well, I go to sleep. I'm in the bed.
8:30, 9
That
o'clock.
woke me up when you sent the text message, because I had not remembered to turn my don't bother me thing on my phone, and so I wake up and I go, "Who is
I have to remember
Sam
that. There's
Hill?"
times when I want to reply to stuff and I go, JD's in bed. And sometimes I do it anyway. But
Well, I don't get
most of the
started
time.
till like 9:30 at night.
Well, I have discovered that I can schedule a text for the next day.
Yeah.
And so when I'm up at 2:00 in the morning and I can't sleep, I'm working on my phone in the bed, doing all kinds of stuff on the phone, and all of a sudden I go, you know what? I need to tell this person. I have discovered that you can put in the text and then press and hold down on the send button, and it'll come up with the when do you want to
Really?
send this thing? Oh yeah.
Now you got Apple. I don't know if they'll do that or not.
I don't know. Last night.
I get up. I get up very early in the morning. I like to get up and relax and watch
too.
the news and read a little bit and all that stuff. Drink my coffee, and I get up. If I sleep past about 6:30, I have slept in. Right, so that means I go to bed early. And y'all night owls stay up till whenever in the morning. I cannot function like that. I would
Yeah, I'm
be
up
I would
every
be
morning.
slobbering in here.
I'm not a morning person, never have been, ain't gonna be at this point in time in my life. I don't plan on being a morning person. Now, when I work day shift or something, that's fine. But now I live in Mariana, which is in Central Time Zone. JD, well,
Even
slow
slower,
time.
slow time.
But so I'm an hour behind. So you say you get up at 6:30. That's 5:30 my time. Okay, well, I don't do that. And so what happens is people just say, I need to call Charlie this morning. They're in Tallahassee. I'm going to call him. He'll be up. It's 7:30. Well, that's 6:30, and I ain't up. And but I'll look And so if you call me in the morning and I don't answer, you woke me up. I just ignored you. Now, leave a voicemail, shoot me a text. 9 times out of 10, what happens is people will call me in the morning, I'll reach over and I'll just swipe and make it go away. And then they'll text me. Well, then if I'll look and see who it is, and if it's somebody that I'm going to make money on, I'm going to answer. Or somebody that, is close to me, I would answer for y'all.
I don't know about that.
I may wait until I can clear my voice a little bit and call back, and pretend I ain't still in the bed.
So, Charlie, what's the latest we can text you?
The latest?
Yes, sir.
There ain't no time.
I like that.
You can text me anytime you want to.
You can hit me at 1
Early
a.m.
If you text me at 3:00 in the morning, there's a 50-50 chance I'm gonna roll over and pick it up and look at it.
I tell you, last night midnight. I mean, I was.
But to expect
I had
12
just finished.
responses, I'm gonna keep you up too.
Right.
I had just finished putting together a 12-foot scarecrow that makes noise. That sits on my front porch.
Oh.
It's got a big old pumpkin thing. It was, and then I always say,
See, I start falling asleep in my reclining chair unless there's something real good on TV. Watch ball game on or something like that. I watched the FSU girls get beat by Stanford last night or Sanford whatever they were.
Now, the wife passes out about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, well, me and your wife would get along. That's bedtime. So yeah.
Hey, this is interesting. It just came through from Eric Pratt, GOA. During the current government shutdown, the ATF furloughed all NFA processors, meaning you can't get cans or do Form 4s or anything else.
Their system's been completely down for about 3 days now.
Meaning applications for NFA regulated firearms were on hold. This prevented law-abiding Americans from accessing the firearms and equipment they need to protect themselves or loved ones and their property. GOA and congressional allies spent the first 17 days of the shutdown demanding that acting ATF director immediately classify NFA processors as essential. We came out on top, and the ATF is now recalling its NFA examiners to work during the shutdown. They're expected to return to work on Monday and clear the backlog within 7 to 10 days.
Yeah,
that's good news.
We got that
news.
notification this morning from them.
That's good news.
That's good
Yeah,
news.
because we've been unable to. We hadn't been able to submit Form 4s for about 3 or 4 days because nobody's been keeping their computer running. And if you don't have a person working on a computer about every 3 or 4 days, it'll quit working. So on a network system or a program, whatever. And that program they're running is probably made in 1962.
Well, I know cans that are sitting and waiting and things, and that'll prime the pumps again, get it flowing again. I mean,
yeah. Well,
everybody going hunting and fishing, wear your life jackets on the water and be careful.
Water's getting cold, so even
Cooler,
be more.
for sure.
what is the temperature right now?
73.
Well, it is getting cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't deal with that.
When water temp gets in the 60s, your risk of hypothermia goes from maybe an hour down to some minutes. I mean, it's a
not
big
me.
difference.
I'd just drown.
We know.
Yeah.
Non-swimmer.
See y'all.